You know that feeling when you scroll through endless projector listings, see the glossy images promising IMAX-like cinema at home, and think you've finally found the sweet spot? Then you get it, set it up in the living room, and the picture looks washed out, the remote is a nightmare, or the lamp fizzles out after a few months. I've been there, and that's why I'm doing this deep dive before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Valerion VisionMaster Pro2 is marketed as a triple laser 4K beast with 15000:1 contrast, a variable zoom lens, and a 4 milliseconds gaming mode. Those numbers sound impressive, but they don't tell you how the unit behaves once you're actually trying to binge a series, run a board game night, or crank out a quick presentation from a laptop. I spent a weekend setting this thing up in a mid-size apartment, testing it with a 1080p TV screen, a white wall, and a dark home theater room, and I'm going to walk you through what worked, what didn't, and who should really consider spending a few $100s on it. First off, the biggest hurdle with any projector is the throw distance. The Pro2 uses Valerion's Optic Flex lens that claims a 0.9 to 1.5 zoom range, which basically means you can move it closer or farther and still get a full-frame image. In practice, I found the sweet spot at about 6 feet from the wall for a 100-inch diagonal. The lens adjustments are smooth, but you have to be precise. A half-inch shift can change the image size by a couple of inches. If you're renting a space or have a fixed mounting spot, make sure that range actually fits your room dimensions, otherwise you'll be wrestling with the zoom knob for no gain. Brightness is another hot topic, especially if you're not planning on a dedicated dark room. Valerion lists 3000 ISO lumens, which translates to a decent amount of light for a laser projector. When I turned it on in a well-lit living room with ambient lighting from a TV and a floor lamp, the image was still vivid enough to see detail, but the blacks lost a bit of punch. In a darkened bedroom, the contrast ratio of 15:0:0:1 really shined. Deep shadows stayed truly black, and the HDR10 Plus content I streamed looked close to what you'd see on a high-end TV. The takeaway? If you can control the lighting, you'll get the full cinematic feel, otherwise you'll be looking at a bright picture that still looks good but isn't quite theater grade. Now, the 4 milliseconds pro-level gaming claim is something that caught my eye because I occasionally game on a big screen. I connected a PS5 and a higher refresh rate PC, both set to 240 Hz. The lag was genuinely low. I could tell the difference compared to my old DLP projector that hovered around 12 milliseconds. However, there's a hidden trade-off. To hit that ultra-low latency mode, the projector caps the resolution to 1080p, even though the hardware is capable of 4K. For most console gamers, 1080p at 240 Hz is more than enough, but if you're a PC enthusiast who wants native 4K at high frame rates, you'll be stepping back a notch. Smart integration is a nice modern convenience, and the VisionMaster Pro2 plugs straight into Google Home and Apple Homekit. I set it up with my voice assistant, and now I can say, "Hey Google, turn on the projector and launch Netflix," and it obeys. The built-in streaming apps load quickly, and the UI feels like a stripped-down smart TV rather than a clunky projector menu. That said, the app library isn't as extensive as a full-featured streaming stick. You still need an external device for niche services. If you're looking for an all-in-one solution, you might need to add a Roku or Fire TV dongle. Let's talk about the multitasking power. Valerion advertises 2x multitasking, meaning you can split the screen between two sources, say, a movie on one half and a PowerPoint on the other. In my test, the picture-in-picture mode worked, but the scaling algorithm occasionally softened the image on the secondary pane, especially with text. For a casual presentation or showing a game while keeping a chat window open, it's functional, but if you need crisp readability for spreadsheets, a dedicated monitor or a dual projector setup would be better. What about the long-term reliability? Laser light sources are generally more durable than traditional lamps, and Valerion promises a 20,000-hour lifespan. I didn't have the time to verify that, but the unit has been running for over 30 hours with no color shift or flicker, which is a good sign. The only practical downside I noticed was the fan noise. At full brightness, the cooling system hums at about 35 dB, which is audible if you're sitting close to the projector. In a dark room, that faint whir doesn't break immersion, but for a truly silent cinema experience, you might want to place it farther away or use a sound-absorbing enclosure. Who should buy the VisionMaster Pro 2? If you're a movie lover who wants 4K resolution, HDR support,